So I wanted to show you a few really easy ways to demonstrate how to propagate some of our favorite begonias here. And you can do it a couple of different ways, and part of that depends on how the begonia grows. For instance, this is a cane begonia. This variety is called Down Home, but it is one of the varieties that is called a cane begonia because it grows on these tall stems that look like pieces of bamboo cane. They have these little nodes, they have little green spots in between, and these tend to grow up and out. Super easy to propagate.
Let's see how easy.
Let's see how easy it is.
Let's see how easy it is. All right.
For instance, and this is a good way to prune your own plant to make it thicker or to start a new plant. So I can show you both of those.
Okay.
For instance, this plant is getting a little tall. Maybe you don't have a lot of foliage at the base, so you want to make it a little thicker. So you would just cut off down here, have your trusty pruners, and cutting it off right there. One option for you, stick it right back in that soil.
Okay, convenient. Okay.
Very convenient. You could leave it just like that.
All right.
You can also cut it again.
Wow, you cut it again?
Yes. Okay. So what you're looking at is these nodes. Each of these little bumps on the stem is called a node. And you want a node below the ground. That's what's going to form the roots. And a node above the ground is generally what's going to send up the new leaves.
Good.
So cut that there. That's going to send a new sprout. Just like there's a new little sprout coming out here already. So we're going to have a new sprout there. And then you could also pop this little guy back in here.
Yeah, let's put it in there. How about that?
And if the soil's a little dry, like this one is, make a little hole with your finger or with your pruners. Just gently press it in.
Okay.
And that's going to be ready to sprout and grow. You can do that with a couple more of these, and you're going to have a much more dense, contained plant ready to fluff on back out again.
Okay. How long would it take before it sprouts, though?
Oh, it's going to start sprouting within a week or so. It'll start developing roots.
That's soon. Okay.
Doesn't take long.
Okay.
You can also, rather than just putting them back in the same soil, this is how you can start a brand new plant for yourself, for a friend, maybe for your Christmas gifts. Just stick that right in soil, and it's going to root and develop. A lot of plants you need rooting hormone.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Begonias are so easy, you really don't even have to use the rooting hormone. This has a little blemish on the leaf. I'm just going to cut that off. And then to demonstrate, I'm going to take off a couple more stems.
All right.
Just pull off the old leaves a little bit here. And because these are such long stems, I'm going to cut this one in two.
So I just noticed, so you're cutting at an angle, does it?
Yeah, a little bit of an angle.
Does it have to be an angle? Okay.
I'm going to stick that in. This one I'm going to take off a couple of these leaves, because when you're doing this, you don't have roots yet, and so the plant is going to be pulling all of its water up through this cut piece. So you don't want to have too many leaves that it's trying to support. So I'm going to stick that in. This was the other one that I cut. So I'm going to do the same thing to that. Cut it in half. Stick that in there. Take off a couple more leaves.
Wow, so just that easy, right?
It's just that easy.
So let me ask you about watering, though. I mean, is that going to be misted? Are they going to be watered? Or
so in this case, this was a relatively dry potting soil that I used. So I would go ahead and water this in well until you see water running out the bottom. And then I would just leave it alone. You can leave it in a window. If you want to add a bit of extra humidity, you can take a plastic bag, a clear plastic bag, kind of tent it over it, will hold in the humidity. But these plants are so easy, you really don't have to do much other than just treat it as your brand new plant and just water it every week, every couple weeks, and that's going to be a brand new plant for you.
Wow, that was easy.
Isn't that easy?
You're right.
So easy. And then if you wanted to kind of finish up this one as well, we left that one a little loppy-jawed. So this was what I would do with my plant at home if I were refreshing this. Take off those pieces
Just put them back in.
and then just stick them back in. And that's going to make for a much wider plant because as it grows, these new pieces are going to grow. It's also going to send up new shoots from all of these cut pieces. So you're going to end up with a much wider, thicker plant. So you would go ahead and water that one well also. You've already got the root ball from the existing plant.
Got it.
But then all your new plant shoots. So just water that well and then water it every couple weeks. It's an ugly leaf. I want to take that one off. I'm going to take that one off too.
You got to make sure it looks good.
Yeah, do a little grooming. And now you're left with two.
Look at that. All right, I'm impressed. That was good. You said it was easy. It was easy.
Easy enough, right?
Easy. Yeah. I think I can handle that.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. All right, clean off my trash a little bit here.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, this is also a cane begonia. This is a different kind. This is Sophie Cecile. This one just isn't quite as tall yet, but you would do that the same way. You would cut it at the cane.
Okay.
In this case, I would probably pull off
Yeah, that's a lot of leaves on there. Huh?
some of these little pieces that are coming out.
It's beautiful color on the underside of those leaves.
Isn't that pretty?
Wow. Yeah.
And then this seems painful, but because we don't have roots on this yet,
Okay.
I'm going to take off some of these great big leaves as
okay.
well. And even this great big one. Again,
Oh boy.
brace
What
yourself.
is she gonna do, y'all?
I'm just going to cut that in half.
Somebody at home just.
I know. Somebody screamed, I'm
my
sure.
goodness.
But that way you've got a little cutting and you don't have too much leaf surface that's gonna dry it out.
Got it.
So stick it in the soil and that's gonna be ready to grow, ready
Wow,
to
so
develop
again,
roots.
no rooting hormone, anything. Isn't that
No,
something?
these begonias are so easy that I very rarely use rooting hormone on them.